Hey girls, welcome back to the Feel the Smile YouTube channel, or if you're listening on the podcast, hello to all the podcast listeners. We are so excited to be back with week 2 of our little Feel the Smile YouTube moment. And this week we are titling these episodes The Heart Check, where we are just doing a heart check-in. We're just going to talk to each other heart to heart, kind of see what God's teaching us right now, what we are learning about in our quiet time, personally, just in life at work, and all the things. So Caroline, how's your heart today?
My heart is happy. My heart is good. We're getting over some sickness, but that's okay. Everyone is getting sick right now, but our hearts are still pushing through.
That's all right.
How's your heart, Scarlett?
My heart is good. I was at church last night, actually, at like our student night, and the message was so good. It was all about it was actually the story of Eutychus in Acts, which I'd never really paid attention to this story before. But Eutychus was the man who like fell asleep sitting in the window and fell out of the window, and then Paul like prayed for him and he came back to life. And the message was all about falling asleep in our journeys, like spiritually, and how when you fall asleep at night, you never realize that you fell asleep. And a lot of times you don't even like intend to fall asleep. Like if you're falling asleep in the middle of like a movie or on
Until
the
you wake
couch,
up.
until you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, like I fell asleep. And it was just such a great message all about how the problem wasn't Eutychus's desire. He desired God and he desired to hear from Paul. The problem was his position. Like if he had fallen asleep sitting next to friends, he would have had community to wake him up or accountability. But because he fell asleep by the window, he like literally lost his life for it. And it was just like such a message, I think, that spoke to me. Like, where in your life are you currently falling asleep? Like, where are you compromising? Where do you not have the energy to like press into prayer?
That's good.
And I think a lot of times, like at the end of the year, we can all kind of be dozing off, like in our spiritual journey at work,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. And so I was kind of convicted because I was like, Scarlett, like, where in your life have you been falling asleep? I think it's the end of the year. We're about to get into the holidays. I feel like a fourth grader, you know, when you know that Christmas break is around the corner,
Yes.
but you can't check out yet. Like when your
Yeah.
teachers would be like, it is not summer break yet.
We're not done.
We are not done.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I like am feeling like I'm just super tired all the time because I stay up too late. But obviously, like, you still want to have moments that fill your cup with the Lord. And so I feel like I'm kind of trying to like reel it in for a second wind kind of moment of like the year is not over. What you're believing for can still happen. God still wants to move in your life. So I feel like my heart is at a place of kind of like being called higher
Yeah.
right now.
That's good. I feel like towards the end of the year, a lot of people look forward to so many things, which is not a bad thing. It's not bad to like be excited for the future and to look forward to like your goals and the things that you want to happen. But I feel like, and this is part of the reason why I feel like the holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that doesn't feel like it used to,
Yeah.
is because now that we have like so much on our plate and a lot of things that like work and finances and just like friendships and relationships and all that kind of stuff, we just kind of like lose like the presence of the everyday. And I feel like because we look so far into the future, like I feel like we're so excited for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and like starting the new year off fresh, then we forget like what we're doing today and what the Lord might have for us today. And I don't know, I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in what's going to happen instead of like what's happening now.
That's so true. And too, when you have new things or like events or whatever it may be to like look forward to, you're right. Like it can be so easy to get caught up in like what's to come.
Yeah.
And neglect like what God's doing right now.
It's like we're just like wishing our life away. Like we're just like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm looking forward to all of these things and I just want to get there already. But then you never know what you could have gotten before that the Lord was already working.
Yeah, That's so great. I was meeting with someone a few months ago now, and she's like another like women's ministry leader, and we were just talking about like women's ministry, like future opportunity growth and like pursuing that and that kind of thing. And I was kind of asking her like for advice on like looking ahead. Like obviously you want to pursue like all areas of life by being present, but also like with growth in mind, because
Right.
we want to ever be growing in our relationships, and just like challenging ourselves and different things like that. So I was asking her kind of like for wisdom in that area, and she was like, she said exactly what we're talking about. Don't neglect to see what God's doing now, because you're so focused on what you want him to do in the future and miss like all of the miracles that God's doing, the prayers that he's answering, because you're so caught up in like the shiny, sparkly things of the future.
Yeah.
And we just can easily forget to realize like there's so many shiny, sparkly things like in our everyday right now too that God's doing.
And you never know, like the things that are happening now could positively affect what's going to happen later.
Mm-hmm.
But if you miss it, like you never know what could have been so much better.
That's so true. You don't, and I never want to look back on life and be like, dang, like I had no clue what I had, you know, or I didn't even see what God was doing. And I think it can be easy to get like that in such a fast pace, like anxious and ready for the next great thing kind of world that we live in. So this time of year, I'm just trying to like stay present in what God's still doing. Like right now we're planning a lot for Feel the Smile retreat, but it's also like, well, we have 2 more Bible studies and a social left and like all of these things. So remembering that like we still have powerful things that God wants to do in 2025
Yes.
or 2026.
We're not in
which is so
2026
crazy.
yet.
I know.
I
Is so
literally,
crazy.
I don't know why or what was wrong with me. I typed 2026 the other day.
Really?
Like I was already.
Which normally I feel like it's reversed.
I know. And so like they responded back and was like, wait, I think it's 2025. Or are we in 2026 already? And I was
You're like, no, you're right.
I guess I'm looking ahead.
That's crazy. That's so true. We just can, it's just getting ahead of us.
I know.
I saw this thing the other day that was like, in just a few months, COVID will be 6 years ago. And I'm like, that is crazy.
It kind of feels like that long ago, but also like yesterday.
Yes, I agree. It feels like yesterday, yet more than 6 years ago all at the same time.
Yeah.
When you think about where you were and what you were doing then.
I've like come to this, like, I don't know if it's like COVID fog or something, but like I just, like I vividly remember that time of my life, but I also don't at the same time.
It's like a fever
It's
dream.
literally a fever dream of like where I was, what I was doing. Just that time of life is so odd to me.
It really was so odd. And I just think about like COVID happened my freshman year of college. So who I was then, it's just so far from like who I am.
And we literally thought the world was ending, and look at us now.
We literally did. Like we just didn't know what to even think. That's so true. Okay, what are you currently reading and learning in your quiet time?
I feel like right now, something that I've been like not dwelling on, I guess, like praying about a lot and navigating as, if any of you don't know, I graduated in May. I'm going through the post-grad life, a new big girl adult. And I feel like a lot of what I'm reading, what I'm praying about, what I'm like seeing every day is like the difficulty of, obviously transition is hard, change is not fun, and it looks different for everyone, which is totally fine, and that's how it should be. I feel like I have been very blessed with getting to move back to where my family is and back to like what I know and what is not new. But I also feel like it is very hard to go from something that was normal back to what was normal before that. And it's not the same as it was before. And so I'm kind of navigating like intentionality in friendships, relationships, career, all of that kind of stuff with where I'm at now. Just like praying that the Lord would show me how to be a good friend from a distance, because it is so hard going from spending every single day with your friends and living with them and being around them every day, having your own routine, living on your own, all of that, to now everyone has gone their separate ways. You don't get to see them as much, and you have to like really be intentional about keeping those friendships. And I've also been seeing just kind of like the fruit of the fear that I had from coming back home to like not having any of my friends that I had previously, like in college, to like seeing how the Lord is like, why did you ever doubt me? From like bringing you back home to where like you're safe and you're healthy and like you're blessed, and you thought that I wasn't going to provide you with godly community and friends.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like it's kind of been a blessing in disguise and so rewarding to be back home. And I think that's the reason that I am back here, is just to like see the fruitfulness of new friendships and how easy it is, like when the Lord places people in your life and you accept that. And it's hard finding new people all over again, and it's hard for them not to be your like core people, and they're completely new. But it's also such a blessing to have new people in your life, new faces, new community, people from all walks of life that are teaching you and growing you in different ways than you never were before.
Yeah.
So it's like all a learning curve, but all a blessing.
Yeah. I always say, like, just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, we always hear the phrase, like, the best is yet to come. And, like, Habakkuk reminds us of that. Like, God is still doing a new thing, like, for all of eternity. And newness is different, but it's not bad. Like, it's better. You know, like, God's newness and God's new way is always better than anything we could ever ask, think, or imagine.
Yeah.
And so it's so true. Like, when you go to college, when you graduate college, when you start dating, when you get married, when you have kids, like, our relationships are always evolving and becoming new and different, but they're just as the Lord like wants them to be for that season that they're in. I had a friend tell me one time when I was in college, like, friends are for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I think college and post-grad is when you really start to not just see the truth in that, but like experience the truth in it. And the reality of that is that like your friendships change because your neighbors when you were a junior in college are not your neighbors when you're 24 years old. That doesn't mean that you don't love them and aren't cheering them on like in their season of life, but it's just who you are and who you're surrounded with is just different.
Yeah.
And I think, of course, like everyone fears, how am I going to find new friends? Where am I supposed to find these new people? And the Lord wants community for us just as bad as we want it for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I always remind our girls of that, like when they're just praying for new community or trying to figure out how to find new community, is it's like just as hard as you're praying and how badly you want to find it, like that is God's vision for your life too. And I think if we're being honest, like we kind of navigate different ways of like finding new friends. Like when you were in college, you probably didn't have to text someone you never saw and be like, do you want to go get dinner? Because you're just around people or they're in your class or they're in your sorority or whatever it may be. But then like for this season of life, you do like, you may see a girl at Bible study and like run into her like one time, but then you're like, oh, like I think I want to be her friend. And then 4 days later you text her and you're like, hey, like I know we've only said like 4 words to each other, but I would love to go get coffee or go on a walk or whatever it may be. So I do feel like that's kind of like a learning curve of young adulthood. And then within that, like how you're saying, like reminding yourself of like how blessed this season is, like even to be with your parents and at home with your parents and like to have the moments that you have with them and just like the margins of grace that this season of life has given you is something that's so easy to just kind of like neglect the value of. I was talking to one of the girls in our small groups on Monday about how she's like, I'm looking for a job, but I'm so grateful that while I'm job hunting, like I get to live with my parents, you know, like not everyone has that blessing or perk in their life. And it is so weird to live in a place, much less like a home that you, the last time you lived full time there was your like 18-year-old you.
Yes.
And you almost get like put back into this box that you've grown so much out of.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a whole thing in and of itself, is like, how do you learn to be the new you in a place that constantly reminds you of the old you? But I think that's like such a redemptive part of it, of like bringing the new you like back to those places and those communities and
Yeah.
with those people and different things like that. But
That's good.
that's so true. And then the holidays is just like, I feel like a whole other reminder of that, because you are at home for more extended periods of time. Like one of my friends that's a teacher is about to be home for 2 weeks for Christmas break, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, you're just learning those rhythms in new ways all over
Yeah.
again. That's
I feel
great.
like it's like when I went into college, I kind of had the mindset of like, I'm going to get out of this what I put into it. And so I've kind of like tried to keep that mindset out of college. Like so many girls are striving for friendships and community and relationships with other girls and girls who are desiring for the same things. And we've heard time and time again girls that are like, I did not, like, I was so scared to come. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, I did not want to come because I was coming by myself. But, like, I have been so blessed by all the girls that I've met. And it's like people just like that. And girls, I feel like girls can get so scared, like, meeting other girls. And I don't know why, because we're all, like, craving the same things. And we're hungry for friendships and relationships. And it's like whatever you put into it and whatever you're looking for, and you put work into it and you put yourself out there and get out of your comfort zone to find that, the Lord will bless that. And it's just a testament to so many girls that have come.
That's so true. I feel like one of our like most frequently asked questions about social is, can I come alone? And I would say like a majority of girls that have come to Feel the Smile have probably come alone, or they saw it and like asked a friend to come with them.
Yeah.
And they all leave like with so many friends. And
Majority too will come by themselves for the first time and then like bring a friend with them the next time.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they'll meet someone there and then now they want to come together. And yeah.
yeah,
it's
that's
such a
so
blessing.
true. It is really sweet to watch that and watch friendships develop. And then like we're gaining new friends like
Yeah.
along with them, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about like the holidays coming up. And let's be honest, like holidays are not always easy, even
Yeah.
as like a young adult girl. I think obviously when you're a kid, like holidays are this like fairy tale experience, and you are like out of school
Yeah.
and you're getting all these gifts.
It's
and
just like
everything's
the
that.
magic, I
It's
think,
just
of
the
all of it.
But then I think when you get older, you start to realize like maybe like your family is not perfect, or maybe you start to notice like disruption like at dinners, or maybe you just like aren't really, holidays don't really remind you of like the best memories. And I remember last year I had a girl come up to me and she was just kind of like asking for like wisdom and encouragement on that, and kind of just opening up and sharing that like she really doesn't love the holidays,
Yeah.
not because she doesn't love Christmas, but it's kind of just like a reminder of like the disunity in her family, or a reminder of the relationships that she wished that she had, or the people that she's loved and lost, or different things like that. So we
Yeah.
just wanted to spend a few minutes like kind of just sharing some encouragement for that.
Yeah.
Especially for any girls out there that are listening and are kind of anxious about the holidays, or just not as excited as maybe your friends like seem to be. First of all, I want to say, like, just because people look stoked on Instagram doesn't mean that's actually how they're feeling in real life, or just because their
Not at all.
families look perfect on Thanksgiving in the family photo, it doesn't mean that they were all giggling and smiling like the hours before that.
Yeah.
And I know holidays can just be like a really kind of tough season. I know for me, they look really different from usual, just because I'm getting to spend time with a lot of different people in my family, which is great. But I remember like last year on Christmas, I was literally crying leaving my family,
Yeah.
because I love everyone in my family. But then it is so hard to like leave people on Christmas. And like for me, I spend the first half of Christmas, like Christmas morning, with my mom and dad and all my siblings. But then the second half of Christmas, I spend it with Caroline and my aunt and uncle and my grandparents, which is so great. And obviously, I love all of them equally. But then you just get emo too when
Yeah.
you have to leave them.
Yeah.
And that can just be kind of hard too. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any wisdom
I
for
think
that.
it's really hard, like you were talking about with social media, because especially around the holidays, I feel like it is just posting galore
Galore. The
of
fits, the
outfits,
smiles.
dinners,
Yeah.
events, parties, all of the things. And I feel like it can be very easy to get discouraged if you don't have all of those things to go to, or people that are hosting all of these elaborate, events or parties, or, all of these bougie outfits that everyone has and
Yeah.
that you're seeing that are being posted. But I think it is also just a good reminder, like you were saying, that not all of it is as it seems on social media. You're seeing a literal glimpse in people's lives, and everyone is obviously going to be posting the best sides of everything. No one is going to post,
The
the
bad
family fighting at
moments.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so I think that too is just like a gentle reminder of not being so hard on yourself for what your holidays look like, because not everyone's are as perfect as they seem on social media. And I don't know, I think it's hard for a lot of people during the holidays, especially with families. Family is always hard to navigate. In any setting, I feel like your
Sure.
family can be really close. Your family can be a little bit more separated than others. And I feel like during the holidays, a lot of people can get really overwhelmed with trying to please everyone and make everybody happy on all sides of your family or friends. And while it is so fun and nice to spend time with everybody, I feel like the holidays is really big on like quality time with all of your
Yeah.
people. But a lot of people don't necessarily enjoy that quality time, and get stressed out or overwhelmed with going back and forth from different houses, or trying to please different family members, whether it be separated parents or older siblings, younger siblings, um, relationships with their families and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's also very important to remember like why we're celebrating
For
and why we
sure.
all even got together in the first place.
That's great.
And that it's not even really about pleasing the people that you're around. Obviously, you want to make the most of being with your people, but you're not celebrating to have dinner and drinks and, dressing up. Like, that's not the reason for why you're all together. And just like kind of pointing back to the reason for the season.
The reason for the season. Yes. That's such a great reminder too, because I mean, I just even think about like the older that I've gotten, the parts of my childhood or family that I thought were like the lamest, I count as like the most iconic now,
Yeah.
like, and I think those are things that you can just like laugh at as an adult and be like, yep, like that's my crazy family, and like I
Yeah.
wouldn't trade them for the world. But even as you were talking, I was trying to think of like, what are some like practical things that you can do to navigate a hard holiday season this year? And the first one that I thought about was, if the holidays are draining for you, then obviously, like you need to have your cup filled.
Yeah.
So if you're stepping into an environment that's just like draining all of your oil, like out of your heart and soul, then go into that environment like with your cup overflowing. So how
Yeah.
can you have your cup overflowing during holidays? I'm about to go to the beach with my family. We have so many kids and it's so fun and I love it so much. But from the moment you wake up and see another person in your family, you will not be alone by yourself the whole entire rest of the day. So like when I'm on trips with my family, one thing that I try to do is find time for me to have like me time. But whether that's like waking up early or going on a walk on the beach by myself or going and do my quiet time at a Bible or at a coffee shop, find ways for you to fill your cup when you are stepping into moments that might be draining for you. If you know that you're about to be with extended family all day on Thanksgiving, then like the night before you're with them, have like a little me time moment, spend extended time in the Word,
That's good.
watch like a Christmas movie, whatever it may be, hang out with your friends, hang out with people that fill your cup,
Yeah.
to just find a way to fill your heart and soul before you're pouring out with your family, which is something I thought about.
And I think that's a really good point. And you should not be afraid to have to like set that boundary for
For
yourself
sure.
before, like setting it in advance, like knowing that you need time by yourself or you need ABCD coming up on the holidays, telling people or just making it known that you're like, this is what I need to do. This is what is going to make me feel better,
Yeah.
make me, get through this time in the best way possible, as gentle as possible, with as much like grace to whoever you're having to tell. And it doesn't have to be pointed at them,
Yeah.
but it's just like, this is for me. This is what I know is going to work best for me to like enjoy and be present in this time.
Totally.
Setting boundaries is really important too. Like, I'm going to go in my room for a couple of hours and watch a movie and chill by myself before the hectic
For
chaos
sure.
starts.
I think that's so important. I also think too, me and one of my friends, this week we were talking about how there's like a situation with her family and she was like trying to navigate, like trying to help as the kid in the situation. And she like had a great conversation and was kind of sharing like the power and like extending help to help relieve the stress of the family situation. And I think a lot of times the holidays can seem unenjoyable is because they're like surrounded with stress.
Yeah.
So like what are ways that we can serve our families these holidays? Like how can you help your mom meal prep for Thanksgiving? How can you help your mom wrap gifts for Christmas? Like I love to help my mom wrap my sister's gifts, and most of the time that looks like me talking to her while she's wrapping because I'm not good at wrapping.
that's
But
good.
like we are called not to be served, but to serve. And that is a command from the Lord.
Yeah.
So how can you serve your family this holiday season? We also know, like, I mean, this might sound a little extreme, but God also calls us to bless our enemies. So if there's someone in your family that you can't stand and they are your enemy, whether it's your mom, dad, aunt, cousin, whoever it is, how can you bless them this holiday season? And I think blessing people that kind of irritate us honestly does more for our heart than
Yeah.
we can even think.
Yeah.
And it blesses our hearts too. Another tip that I thought about, like for navigating the holidays, is if you're like me and kind of had like a blended family in a sense, and your time is spread throughout a lot of different people, make the most of the moments that you are with those people. Like for me, when I'm with my mom and dad and all my sisters, like I'm going to make the most of the moments that I have with them.
Yeah.
And then most of the time when I'm driving to Christmas part 2, I'm like, thank you, God, that I get to have 2 Christmases. Thank you for all the people in my life that I get to call family.
Yeah.
Thank you that I get to have Christmas in 2 different places with 2 different groups of amazing people. Thank you that they love each other, that we
Yeah.
all value each other. Like find ways to practice gratitude through the things that you can easily take for granted in your family. Find ways to be grateful for the hard things in your life. The Bible tells us like take joy in the trials that we experience. What are the trials that we are taking for granted in our families this holiday season that we can find joy and gratitude in? I think so many things of navigating hardships is all about perspective, and there are always things that we can be grateful for,
Yeah.
even if it's through broken relationships, blended families, stressful environments.
Yeah.
Like we can be grateful for the opportunity to help. We can be grateful for the opportunity to have so many different family members. And I think too, that once again, like ties us into like the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Like it's not for us, it's for them. And just our families, and to celebrate family and community, and what that can be.
Yeah, I think with that, kind of like in advance of the holidays, just like praying for a heart of patience with
right, girl.
everything that's going to be coming up. And I think too, just like you were talking about serving your family and just being a helping hand with trying to make the most of the season. Too is just like setting your pride aside and not feeding into whatever might be going on in your situation, but like setting your pride aside and being a helping hand, being the person who, is bringing the joy and the patience and the kindness and all of that to the table, where other people are going to see that and notice that. instead of bringing, anger and aggravation and all of that, where you can kind of be more of the light in your family and, just, I don't know, just setting your pride aside and being that person to break that kind of chain off of your family.
That's so great.
For the new
Yeah, I love that.
year.
Like, just because holidays have always been bad doesn't mean they can't be different this year. The last thing we wanted to kind of touch on today was holidays can feel really lonely. But that doesn't mean that you can't be an inviter this year. And so we kind of had like some ideas on ways or things that you can invite people for, especially too, like, I love how you mentioned earlier, like, not everyone has all of these events to go to for Christmas or Christmas parties or whatever it may be. And so, like, don't be afraid to be the person to, like, host the Secret Santa or host, like, the girls' dinner or invite girls to go eat dinner at a certain restaurant, and just be able to create community in those ways. I know for us in particular at Feel the Smile, we have 2 more Bible studies left. We have Bible study tonight on the day that we'll be sharing this episode. And then we'll have 1 more Bible study after this, next Tuesday or next Monday. And then we still have social in December. So many fun things that you can invite your friends to in a season where it can be so easy to feel so lonely.
Yeah. I think too, so many people always expect holiday gatherings or events to be fancy and extravagant and sparkles and all of the things. And like, I would just love, like, I feel like girls would appreciate like inviting to go drive around and get a sweet treat and look at Christmas lights. Like, that is something that's so easy, that is so simple to just pile up in a car with the heat on and go.
Yes.
Or going to see a movie, having dinner before or after. Like, it could literally be anything. I would say go on a walk if you don't freeze your tail off.
Yeah, for real. That's so true.
But like simple things like that, where it doesn't have to be so extravagant and put together and thought out before. It's just like group message. Hey, what do y'all, let's do this.
Yes,
let's go look at
hang
Christmas lights, whatever. Ice skating rink. That would be so fun.
Yes.
Going ice skating with all of your girlfriends or literally whoever. I feel like that's really a bonding experience. That would be so fun. I feel like just finding like small, cheap little things that are not like so big. And
I love that. We do always, as girls, feel like our events have to be this like thing. But like, who said you can't go get hot chocolate at Starbucks?
Yes.
And drive around and look at Christmas lights. I love that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to?
Yeah.
You want to hang out with me?
Anyone who wants to come, you're invited.
Anyone is welcome and invited. Just message us or comment, and we'll make sure
make
to
a
give
carpool
you the
group.
details. A carpool group. We could do like a whole carpool.
Yeah.
I love that.
That'd be fun.
Well, thanks for tuning in today and listening to our heart check as we talked all things community and post-grad, navigating the holiday seasons, even when they're not easy. We're so grateful for y'all, and we can't wait to do the holiday seasons with you guys. Come to Bible study, come to social. We can't wait to see y'all. Not the tongue twist, Todd. What is it?
Tongue twister. Tongue tied.
Yeah, where I can't say my words. But come hang out with us. We would love to hang out with y'all this holiday season. And I can't wait to hang out with you.
Yes.
Y'all are the best. We'll see you next time.
We love you.
Love you.